This is good. Hi. Hi. Good afternoon, Sabelai. What's up? What's up? Hello, Baristas. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of Let's Get to Know Your Barista. Today we have another special guest, the one and only Dhan Tamang. Hello everyone, hello, Sabalai. I'm so glad, I'm so happy to get all your love and support. Sabaijanalai namaste, Sabaijanalai welcome. On today's sessions we have got, good afternoon Bhupal. I'm Dhandai hununcha. So 6 times Latte Art Champion, finalist of World Latte Art Champion. Published a book, The Coffee Art Banne. So it's gonna be awesome. So if you guys have any cross questions, or if you guys have anything regarding latte art, regarding milk texturing, regarding grinders, regarding anything that's on the cup, definitely we can ask Danda as well. So please, like I mentioned, if you have any cross questions, anything at all, please to let us know. I think Danda is online right now, so I'll just call him up. Good afternoon, Da. Namaste.
Hello. Good morning. Namaste. Morning छ है यहाँ त
Hey, it's a morning, sir. Da.
How
are you, Da?
ठिकै छ एकदम I mean well कसरी ठिकै भन्ने It's okay. Strange time, but it's okay. Surviving, you know.
How you dealing with all these stuff now?
It's very difficult, especially UK मा चाहिँ कस्तो छ भने pretty much hospitality business चाहिँ सबै उ गरेको छ हैन बन्द भएको छ. It's really tough to deal with, especially business like मेरो चाहिँ कस्तो छ भने मेरो बिजनेस चाहिँ सानो पनि हैन, लाइक ठुलो massive पनि होइन के, and it's somewhere middle के, अनि अब month is like and चाहिँ अब लाइक हुन्छ नि स्टाफहरु पनि अलिकति धेरै नै छ अलिकति अहिले right now it's 170 plus छ हैन, and it's dealing with these people it's quite difficult, you know. And there's no trade, so there's nothing like, you know, money comes in, so it's quite difficult, you know. And the rentहरू त्यति नै तिर्नुपर्छ, अनि plus the government rules has been changed every day, you know, they're like they just keep coming something different every day, so we had to change our business strategy, like. And the worst thing is we don't even know when they going to open, so how long this the corona things last long, so that is the worst thing. So we don't know how to prepare, okay? The station.
Yeah, I saw your live video yesterday, and I could see a lot of loads and loads of coffees over there from different origins.
Oh my God,
yeah. I was really worried. Like, what are you gonna do with that? But have you ever been to any kind of plannings regarding any alternative serving or anything like that?
How? We could do some online like training, so but we never been we never even sell online, so this is why. So if we start now, it could be just like sell nothing, you know. And online चाहिँ एकदमै yeah, we should start like subscriptions and all that things, but हामीले चाहिँ कहिले पनि start भएन के. We are very new के, as a roaster. म चाहिँ एकदमै kind of like a baby के. So मेरो main business चाहिँ cafe हो नि त, अनि coffee shop हो नि त. So as a roaster and school चाहिँ एकदमै सानो हो के, अनि त्यो भएर नै एकदमै I think we are way behind के. So it's okay. I think it's the most important thing is health, yeah. Stay healthy, and being healthy is the biggest thing. right now.
Yeah. So, so then that, like, today is like, first of all, for me, I personally wanna congratulate you. I know it's Ottine Lama time boy. See, I've texted you as well on for your baby, but still, early person magarda here. It's today
Ah,
maza aउँछ. So,
thank you, thank you.
and talking about these sessions, that this is the session which I have recently started, where I want to talk to a lot of our barista, चाहे त्यो farmers बाट होस् and चाहे त्यो every, you know, listening to their stories and talking
Yeah,
about anything, talking about experience, and everybody would love to listen to your stories as well. So definitely, and
sure.
thank you so much for
No
joining the
problem.
live sessions. And we know that you are inspiration to a lot of people as well. So it's going to be an interesting session. And I would say, there might be a lot of cross questions for sure. So I hope you don't mind that.
No, no,
We'll
I'm
start with the.
good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, fine. Yeah, I'm good
Yeah.
to go.
We'll start with that. Your story first. Like, how did you start? Because I know you've been in these almost like a long period of time now, and you started as a barista and then became one of the champions. So whole story, if somebody has to talk about the initial part of the story, how would you describe it?
Initial part of the story. मेरो चाहिँ, so I've been making coffee for, this is my 14th year, I think.
Yeah,
13th, 14th year. It's
14
been a
years.
lot. Yeah, it's been long. So pretty much half of my whole life actually. And so पहिला मैले start गरेको चाहिँ, I went to Kuwait as a barista. So हामीले चाहिँ पहिला चाहिँ के भनेको थियो भने अब they used to like, oh, like, the manpower, नेपालमा चाहिँ manpower हुन्छ नि, manpowerबाट चाहिँ, so they were like, oh, there is the कुवेतमा चाहिँ coffee maker चाहिएको छ. So I thought, oh, maybe I could try. And so the idea was, I used to work in the export import company in Tamil,
Okay.
and I used to make a lot of coffee, like Nescafe and powder milk, and you put some water and make it really nice thick, and put a little bit Nescafe on top, right? So a
Yeah.
lot of guests and everything. So I was quite young, like 18, 19. I used to make all of them, like for my boss and staff, and yeah, even for guests, and they absolutely loved it. My coffee, like especially Nescafe. I
Yeah.
think probably the combination of coffee and milk, or probably I used to put a more milk. I don't know. So, and that was my concept. That was my thing. I thought that was coffee making. So I had an interview, and the manpower interview. Like, oh, the guy asked me. I still remember. The guy was like very with the shoots and things like that. That was in a Hyatt hotel.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so they're sitting, oh, do you know name? They asked me names and all that. And he asked me, do you know about coffee? I say yes. I was super confident, because I thought coffee was like that. So, and so yeah, so and he asked me, so how did you know about coffee? So a lot of people don't even know. I said, like, well, we have in my office, I make every day. So, for my guests and my staff. So I'm used to making coffee every day. And that was a very super confident he saw. And then I've been selected, and then I went to Kuwait. So the problem where I faced problem. So they didn't give me job on around 73 days
Mm-hmm.
because of didn't even know what is latte cappuccino. When I saw coffee come from beans and all that machines, I was like, what the hell is it? So they didn't give me job, but like there is a rule that they couldn't send me back home.
Yeah.
So I had to learn, kind of latte, cappuccinos, and recipes and all that things, frappuccinos and everything. So and then finally I got a job. So I work in there's a coffee company a coffee company called Green Beans Coffee. So it was a kind of like a Starbucks. There's like lots of frappuccinos and smoothies and all that thing. So yeah, so it was really good actually. So I worked almost 2 years there, and it was a kind of journey. That's where I started coffee. So that's where I saw like latte, cappuccino. It looks like that, and espressos and all that. And even that
Um,
time, By the time I
Hmm.
didn't even know latte art actually. I never knew that there's a latte art things was exist. And so yes, but latte art, to be honest with you, I learned latte art while I was in Nepal in
But what
2008.
inspired you actually, the latte art?
Um,
Because
well,
I believe in Nepal, it's basically we have got very the culture of latte art was not so popular back then when you started. I believe that
no,
it was pretty much slow because we know that it's all about Nescafe that we had and we used to drink it with a lot of sugars definitely, and there were very least numbers of people who were into this kind of beans coffee. So what basically inspired you to latte art?
well, latte art is well part of the being a barista. It's a part, one of the part being a barista. You know, you got to do it, like, and you're gonna do it anyway. So, what latte art? Where do I start? Yeah, it was in Nepal, and I saw on the YouTube. The first thing was I saw on the YouTube there was a Rosetta and hearts and people just went, and I was thinking, wow, I've been making coffee for 2 years, or 2 years, 2.5 years, something, and I didn't even know that this kind of thing is like in the coffee you can actually make it. So and then I start drawing on the a cup, like, the hot chocolate, with the chocolate
Yeah,
sauce.
yeah.
I got a little photo actually. Let me show you, okay? 2 seconds.
Sure.
So it's
Yeah.
here actually. So like similar way I used to draw them
Wow.
with the, but I used to put the chocolate powder, sometimes chocolate sauce. Sometimes you can just put a milk from.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the latte art. And then so, I had to develop slowly and day by day. And I work as a barista. Plus, there was a point I used to work as a bartender plus barista trainer at College at Dumbarai. Do you know
Mhm.
Dumbarai
Yeah.
Get College? So I used to work as a barista trainer, and it was nice. It was a very good fun, and I had a really good time, really good memories. I met loads of people, loads of coffee people, coffee passionate people, and so yeah. So and then 2010, early 2010, very very early, I moved to UK. And again, so I'm very kind of like, I'm a kind of person, so I always say to people, and I always think when I came here in the UK, I said to them, I'm gonna work in a coffee as a barista. Even though there is
So
a
while talking about UK, that because I don't want to get into like what brought you to UK, but I really want to talk about these things like because most of the people they know that at the initial stage of migrating to some other countries, the first thing is getting a job is pretty much hard.
yeah.
So for you, being a Nepali barista and working in Nepali coffee shop, unlike the regular international coffee shops, how hard or difficult was it to get the job at in the first place as a barista, or did you do
Well, in the
something else
UK,
for that?
in the
Yeah,
UK,
yeah,
it's a completely different thing. The way you work in Nepal and the way you work here, it's a very different thing. It's completely different. Yes, everybody, like we all know latte cappuccinos and all that, like the beverage name, but the way it works, how they work, it's very different. It's not when you work in a coffee shop. It's not just about making coffee.
yeah.
Okay, it's about more than making coffee. It's about how much work you're gonna put. Like, I think the one thing I always say, work from the heart, not just from the dimag bada, okay? Not just only dimag bada, okay? Work from the heart, okay? And
Uh-huh.
that's I think it's a most important thing. And so it was very difficult, and I've seen so many people didn't get the job. So in 2009-10 was one of the worst time to be in the UK, by the way. So
Uh-huh.
there's no job, and loads of people don't get the job. and even people get a job, then like a very, very minimum, the
Pay
wages,
grade.
even less than minimum wages, people had to work, and so many people everywhere. And but the thing is, you just don't want to give up, and you just need to do it. You just stick with your plan and then keep working hard. So I think that is the one of the most important parts. And one thing to me, I always believe in attitude, not experience. Yeah. So I think that you need to have a right attitude, something like a can-do attitude.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, I'll give you a little example. Working in the hospitality, any hospitality, probably, not just as a barista, okay? Barista also is a key important. Like, for example, I can teach you, if you work in my coffee shops, I can teach you how to make coffee. I can tell you, like, I can tell you off, like, no, that is not right. That is wrong. That is right. Manoj, that is wrong. I can tell you, yeah?
Yeah.
And I can teach you. But
That's right.
if you're not naturally smiling and things like you not smile, speak, and
Yeah.
serve, there's the three things you
Yeah.
follow: smile, speak,
Yeah.
and serve. If you just naturally don't smile to customer, then I can't tell you, Manoj, you need to smile. I can't tell you
Yeah.
that.
That's right.
So, and
That's
that is wrong. And this is why I think you've got to have a few things more than coffee. So, and then coffee will follow. Like, yeah, the job, the coffee as a barista, anything, they will be next. First thing is I always say smile, speak, and serve. So,
that is one of the reason that like I've seen you everywhere, anytime, any place that I've seen you, you always smile on your face, which is like awesome. You
well,
stand on to it.
yeah, not just that. I'm always happy where I am, and I'm happy what I have right now. So, and always, not just right now. I'm just happy. That's all. So I don't get sad. I don't get upset. Why? If I get upset, then I'll just close the door and watch movie, or maybe I go to gym and smash the weights. That's all yeah.
That's awesome. Now, would you like to talk about your first competitions on UK Latte Art which you won?
Yeah.
Because I believe that's the point where you got a lot of attention, and I saw one of the interview regarding your championship. I think that's your first interview. I'm not quite sure. Maybe 2013, maybe
Okay.
having
So,
that.
yeah, 2013 was my first ever competition. Actually, I compete. My first competition was Barista Championship. So I competed UK Barista Championship in 2013. And so I was a kind of one of those barista. I need what recipe I'm going to use, what granders or grinding size or coffee, where they come from, all that things, water, blah blah blah. It's crazy. I was mad. I used to be mad, coffee mad. People call me like, oh my God, this guy breathe coffee, eat coffee, drink coffee, he talk coffee. What's going on with this guy? He's mental. People used to call me mental because of I always just talk about the coffee. And but that was my passion. That was what I love. And suddenly that things will become um, into reality and becoming like you turn into like your professionalism, like something. And so British Championship I compete, but at that time I represent Nepalese
Yeah,
coffee from Nuakot.
yeah.
And I remember, where? Yeah, I used to have a friend of mine. He used to get coffee from Nepal.
Nepal.
He still lives in Winchester, so yeah. And no,
I
what
forgot
is
the name.
the no? That is the second. What is the farm को नाम चाहिँ बिर्स्यो ठ्याक्कै.
Kaski, or that?
I remember, no, I remember coffee from Nuakot
Uh-huh.
region, and Ujjal Rana. Did
Mm-hmm.
you know? Did you know him?
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I think his name is Ujjal Rana. I remember the farmers, not farmers, the companies. I completely forgot the name. And so anyway, I represent the coffee from Nepal, and I didn't realize the coffee wasn't good enough for the competition. So, well, I didn't get the next stage. And so, anyway, I was really proud. People are like, wow, coffee from Nepal. And do you guys grow coffee in Nepal? I said, yeah, we do. And then same year, I compete a latte art competition. And it was a very interesting. So, latte art also, it's a kind of quite new to me, you know. And so I used to, well, I remember, yeah, so I remember I used to use the milk jug. Pitcher was a 1 liter.
Uh-huh.
It was quite strange actually. This is why they used to call me some still. Dan, you used to pour with a bucket. And so yeah, so I took some few jugs, milk pitcher from shop, and that time I didn't have my own pitcher, so I just grabbed a few pitchers from the shops and then I went for competition. By the way, I practice every day. Okay, so around 2 months I think I practiced every day. I remember I was talking myself just like a mad, you know, on the mirror and all that stuff, blah 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 blah. So you need to have a good presentation as well, right?
Yeah.
So I went to competition. So I compete, and that was the first ever latte art, and it was um, very difficult. And so one thing I set in my mind was, okay, this is the like 8 minutes. I'm gonna do it. I'm actually, this is my time. I will enjoy. And so I wasn't panic, nothing. There's no panic, no drama, nothing. So I just pour. I just like I made a loud, like massive, loud, blah blah blah. Hello, judges, da 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 da. So it was a kind of good fun, right? And ended up really well. And people were like surprised. People talking each other. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? And so it was completely. To be honest with you, there was I won my first ever competition. Wasn't because of his skill. That was because of my mindset.
And the
Actually.
confidence that you had.
Oh my God, yeah. So and I wasn't the best in the group. Honestly, in the competition, I wasn't the best. 100%, I knew that. There's a people has a lot. There's a people who has compete. My other competitor was one of the girls. She was compete. She represented UK in the South Korea in 2012, and there was a previous champions and all that people there. And but suddenly I went there from nowhere, and then just with a confidence. There's no shaky hand, no panicking, nothing. So and then they announced, like for example, that was the best bit. Okay, so all of them competitor they put in a wonder,
Yeah.
and then number three, like third UK Latte Art Championship, third and second. And when they announced champion, they announced my name. I wasn't even expect actually. I wasn't expecting. It was mad. And you know what? That was the time I actually I couldn't control myself. I was really like tearing, like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. I didn't even know this is like what is the being a champion. And but one thing I knew it is I'm not the best. You know, I think I should do a lot more better. Yes, I won the competition, and but the reaction from people was completely different. You know, become 1 hour before you are nothing, 1 hour later,
You had the
after
chance.
announcement you are champion. So the people coming to take photos and all that things, I was like, wow, this is a feeling I never had. And yeah, so I mean, that was yeah, that was one of the kind of like I would say it's my breakthrough. You know, I had to that changed everything. By the way, before I used to be just a barista. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
suddenly a few weeks late after I was a GM of the manager, a
Uh-huh.
GM of the shop, pay rise, all that thing. It was crazy. And I went to France. That was the World Latte Art Championship,
Mhm.
and you know that was and that was the first ever. country after UK. I went to, like Europe, abroad, like somebody pay and bill flights and hotels and things. And I was like, wow, actually being a barista, people actually paid. You get paid to go there. And that was something, uh, yeah, these things change everything. I get more excited, and every single moment, every single this kind of moments, always that is the kind of like a motivation for me. They change things to me. So yeah, so far, well, we're here, 2020, right?
Yeah, 6 times Latte Art Champion. But
Yeah,
initial
so
stage, Mada, how, because I understand UK Latte Art Champion, Nepal, most of the people, they do not have ideas on the rules and regulations, and it's very hard to get in your head the rules and regulations, the timing and the textures and the pattern. There are a lot of things which you need to focus within that 8 minutes. How hard was it to understand those rules and regulations?
it's the if you ever when you compete competition, to me there is a I always put like a few things like rules. You got to read the rules probably 20 times or more. You got to
Hmm.
read the rules even before even you thinking the company, thinking about company, making plan. You need to read the rules, and that is a lot of the first time competitor. Most of the competitor, they are always missing out. They don't even read the rule.
Yeah.
We all think like we know the rule, but we don't really read the rule. We
Uh-huh.
need to understand, okay? So detail and what actually you just need to follow the rule basically. Competition is not like you making coffee behind the bar.
Yeah.
It's probably 10 times different than you're making behind the bar.
It's true.
So yeah, so there is a rule to follow, okay? There's a lots of rules, and follow the rules and prepare for the competition. So how, like, for example, uh, let's say if you compete for latte arts, and design, what design you're gonna do it, and why you need to ask yourself, is that design gonna win the competition? Is that a really like competition, um, like worst thing? So
Hmm.
you got to ask yourself, and why the design is so different. Is it a technique? Is it like difficulty? So you need to find, is there something new, original, and it's all things involved. So you need to find the way. You need to find the reason actually. The first thing is, and so once when you got everything together, and then you practice. So practice,
Yeah.
I would say at least 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have a routine. I practice pretty much at least, yes, at least 3 months. I practice 1 kilo coffee a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, I'm not so much surprised because I've spoke to you regarding this thing as well. How much coffee have you used to
So,
waste, and the
yeah,
bucket is done, and the end of the bucket and another bucket.
yeah,
I've seen
yeah,
that,
yeah.
so I've told you that as well. Like you have completed so much that like you have got a lot of signature beverages as well. And on that, is there any favorite one that you really like to speak about? And also, I want to talk about one of the signature beverage. Uh, you know, um, I have mentioned the circular beverage that you have. I believe you have made it on 2013. Do you still remember that? Where you have mentioned it as like simple beverage. Now, the reason I'm asking this one because there are a lot of you have given a lot of interviews, and every time on every interview that I've seen consistently that you have always mentioned the Nepali coffee. You have always mentioned the Nepali barista, and you have always mentioned the potential of the coffee that we have it, and which you wanna represent in your place from your side, which is actually awesome. From 2013 to 2020, there are a lot of interviews that I've seen. So would you like to talk about these signature beverages, the simple beverage, cellular beverage that you made
Well,
2013, if you remember?
Yes, I think I do remember. The main reason, I always mention that, you know, the Nepalese coffee and being a Nepalese, I'm proud, that I'm proud. I'm always proud to say that I'm a Nepalese. I'm from Nepal. That's because I'm yeah, physically, you see, I'm here in the UK, but
Yeah.
honestly, like from the heart, my mentality is I am in Nepal, and my dream, if I ask one thing right now is to God. So I would love to be in Nepal, not here, to be honest with you. And but there is a lot of um, you know not just me, I think it's yes, personally I would love to be in Nepal, but I have families and all that thing, so yeah, I'm okay here. So anyway, so this is why I mention always you know things from Nepal, like coffee from Nepal, or being a Nepalese and all that things I always mention, honestly. And so yeah, the coffee, the beverage, signature beverage. That was the Baristas Championship,
Yeah.
and I remember, and so that was based on chocolate, dark chocolate, orange. Um, I think that's a dark chocolate, orange, and then espresso or something. Actually, yeah, just a second. That was something. That was a really delicious, actually. Basically based on dark chocolate and orange. So here in the UK, I think that they are really popular, orange and dark chocolate, I think. So I try to combine together. There's like a Nepalese coffee, like UK culture, like a dark chocolate. They love this thing, and orange. I think that was the idea. I think. So it's completely honestly, I forgot a lot of things, but when you mentioned that, I was like, yes, I remember that was based on dark chocolate and orange. So yeah, I
Because
do
yeah,
that
it's already 7 years now. That was like very long period of time. I was just
honestly.
going
Yeah.
through the interview and I was like, you mentioned one of those words, like that was really cool. And from then and now, it's most of the time we have been talking about the Nepali coffee. Now, do you have any favorite, origins from Nepal? Because I know you have got a
Um.
lot of coffees from Nepal as well, but still, any
Yes.
favorite one that you'd like to talk about?
I got right now. I like Lamjung wash.
Hmm.
Let me show you something.
Sure.
I have here also. Yeah.
Meanwhile, if anybody wants to ask anything to Danda, please let us know. We can definitely come up with latte art. Don't worry, guys.
This is my little coffee bar in the kitchen.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
So I
Very
have.
Palpa.
I think I'll show you. 2 seconds. So Lamjung
Uh-huh.
is my favorite right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Coffee from Lamjung, and I got Palpa as well. Palpa natural.
Naturals. I
Yeah.
tasted that.
Yeah. I tried this one, but I think my favorite one is this one. So Lamjung wash. I really like it. This is we roast in a TT coffee, and
Wow.
the bag is latte art.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
that's a very simple way how you do. Yeah. So just a second. Yeah, so yeah, Nepalese coffee. I have two different coffees at the moment. So I got this one last year, I think in November, around November. It's from Kathmandu Coffee, Alpine Coffee,
Yeah.
Kathmandu. Ravindra and Kumud, I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
So they are one of the best people.
Yeah.
Of course, there's just so many, all of them. I love going Nepal and meet all of them guys, like coffee people, especially Tenzing.
Yeah.
Thinking brother. I'm sure
We had him yesterday.
he's one of the legendary.
Mashallah.
So love what he's doing. So and I always
I believe
admire.
he's watching the live session as well, most probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm biggest fan of him. As an individual, like a coffee person. He's
Yeah.
just like he died for coffee. So I
Yeah.
love the passion. And then I love what he's doing actually. He's changing the coffee scenario. Coffee scene in Nepal, and it's a great. I think we need. Um, Nepalese coffee market needed actually someone like him, and I'm really happy that what he's doing. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah. So while you talk about like you did the roasting and everything, and
yeah.
we know that it's not very long period of time DT Roastery has been established, but still, like you mentioned, you're into cafe. What brought you into roastery?
Well, roasting is we've been roasting just over a year now, and so one thing as a well, I would say in a business, you know, I believe my own product rather than I'm buying from others. Okay, and coffee is my core product. Like that's the main product that I'm selling in a cafe. So I thought, well, I could start roastery. I could roast my own coffee, and I can select, I can buy whatever I like, the green beans and all that things. And I always have a loads of questions about how farm looks like, coffee farm looks like. I never been coffee farm in Nepal, actually, by the way.
Hmm.
I never seen coffee farm in Nepal. So I've been in Brazil. That's where my coffee come from now. So but and then so I thought last year I thought I'm gonna start roasting. So
Yeah,
got the
I've seen
machine.
the post as well. It was pretty much you're looking after the books and you're looking after a lot of
Oh
things and
yeah, so
you're
I
doing on
think
your own.
it's like making coffee as well. Roasting coffee is like you're making coffee. So everything it's I always believe one thing because I never roast in my life before. So I thought, well, everybody roasting coffee, so I think it's not something impossible. I think people build the machine, yeah. So I just need to use it. It's just crazy. That must be simple way. And so we bought the machine, we set up the roasting, and I even don't know what do I need to buy equipment wise. So eventually I got that I got that I got everything. So and then so and so we did. Well, I remember my first batch when I roast, and so that was quite scary because of it related to the gas and the electrics and all that things. It's just like, wow, that's crazy. But at the same time, I was very excited, like, wow, this is something I wanted new. And so yeah, that's where we started and read lots of, you got to read lots of books and like online, you need to check, you can see that these days, like, that you can search in Google or YouTube's and all that things. And so I had to get the training as well from one of the expertise. They
Mhm.
they came in my place and they teach us like how to follow the rules and process all
Yeah.
that thing. So that was a 6 days course actually. I took it and it was good. Yeah, so it was a very good. And then I'm very lucky enough to work with one of my colleagues, like and he's one of my like coffee favorite person barista in the UK. So his name is Don Altija. So he's our head of coffee and head of quality controls and all that things. He controls all
Mhm.
of the things.
Wow.
So I'm very lucky enough to work next to him. So and without him, it was pretty much impossible. They like the profilings and choose the right coffee beans and all that things. So yeah, it's all about teamwork, by the way.
Do you get the green beans or you take the parchment or what do you do?
So we got the green beans. We select. We got like. So what we do, we cup. we got loads of samples. We roast in a micro lot, yeah. So it's
Mhm.
a little machine called ikawa.
Yeah.
And you can roast up to 50 grams, I think. And so
Yeah.
we roast there and then cup, and we choose the coffee beans and we buy. So some of them coffee green beans we get like a direct trade
Hmm.
directly from the farm,
Yeah.
and some of them is from the green beans supplier. So yeah.
Would you like to talk about how many origins do you get?
Oh God, I got more than 10 of them. Yeah, I can't even
And that
remember.
that includes from Nepal as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so Nepal, Nepalese coffee, and you got like mostly Brazil, Colombia, Honduras, Ethiopia. You got some Guatemala. You got some Indonesia. Loads of things. Actually, I got pretty much all of them. Rwanda.
Wow.
Yeah, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
So many.
you
Yeah,
could see that yesterday.
Tanzania.
I could see it on your live.
Tanzania, all of them. So what we do basically, you have because of I have a few shops. At the moment, I have 12 shops, 12 cafes, but not
Wow.
all of them coffee lab. Okay, so this is why. So some of them coffee shops, my cafe called Honey and Harvey. Some of them called Metrics. Some of them coffee shops called South Coast Roast. Some of them Woodfire.
Is that under
And
Coffee Lab?
exactly, it's under coffee lab. So all of them coffee shops has a different coffee, different blend.
Yeah.
They do different blend. This is why I had to have a, like loads of different origins. So we create different blend, and so this is yeah, that is the reason. Also, I have quite few actually at the moment. And
That
but
when
it's
you talk,
different. Yeah,
uh-huh.
go on.
When you're talking about blended, like I've seen yesterday, I've got a lot of single origin beans as well, and also the blended coffee as well. Would you like to talk? Because we've been talking about the single origin a lot of times. It's been a while, but not about the blended coffee. Would you like to talk about the blended coffee?
Well, the blend is basically the combination of different origin, right? So you just combine together from different origin, in a basic way to explain. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is not like that easy. So so you need to work super hard to find the right balance. So it's a basically well, the first thing is how you need to understand what you're looking for. Okay, so like every company and every cafe or every company has a different policy and different style of their business, and that means they're looking for different recipes or different taste, the balance. This is the kind of thing. So, and we have to come up with like as a roster, you got to come up with a solution. So like first thing, okay, so I'm kind of like, let's say I'm first time I'm opening, let's say you're opening cafe tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah.
You want to open coffee shops, and but you need to you want to have your own blend, how you
Uh-huh.
choose your own blend. So
Yeah.
think about like for example, when you open the coffee shop, to me, I'll explain you one thing. So everybody, a lot of people wanted to open coffee shops, not just in Nepal, in the UK also. Everybody wants to open. People think coffee has so much margin and they can make monies and all that things. Right. Okay. But to me, as a business, how I see is you need to find the solid reason why your coffee shop is different than others.
Hmm.
Why people should go to you rather than next door. Because of the menu, when
Yeah.
you see the menu is exactly the same: latte, cappuccino, flat whites, and americano.
Yeah.
Pretty much every coffee shop has the same menus, right? So why people should go to you? You need to have that solid answer. So, and same thing to like, it could be your coffee. Your coffee is completely different than, well, not that completely different, like, different than others. We
Yeah.
always say, every business say we care more, or our customer service is better, our this is better. So, but you need to be proud yourself. What is the main thing? So, as a coffee shop, it's like coffee. Like, for example, why my coffee is different than others? because of you need to, as an owner, you need to think about like where did you get your first, like remember one coffee, like the flavor, just to remember what is the best ever you had in your life so far, and then you need to think about, okay, I had this, but what was the taste? You need to find the
Yeah,
taste, why that was something you always remember. You had like a millions of coffee, but you remember that one. So something like
yeah,
this, you find the
yeah,
taste. You just like, okay, that coffee was quite sweet or quite acidic or quite like, this and that. So you find the taste profile, yeah? And then, so you go to roastery and then find that like, match that kind of like a blend, the
uh,
flavor. So that's where like every coffee is different. You have like coffee from Ethiopia, let's say massive different. Coffee from Ethiopia versus coffee from Brazil. They are like a massive different, yeah. So if you, I actually have that blend as well, 50-50, 50% Ethiopian natural and 50% Brazil as well. So I have the like that 50-50 blend as well. And that is one of my popular. It's really cool. Like, Ethiopian coffee, it's naturally, they are really like fruity, especially natural. Really fruity, really like, quite acidic and really they normally they use a lot with the like filter based coffee, right? So Brazil coffee is quite like mild and it's really it has really like they it gives you good bodies and all that thing. So you can just combine together. You have actually you create something. So we
something.
have that, yeah. So we have few different blends. That's how we create. Basically, that is just like in a shortcut. Okay, so you got to have a good exercise on this, and so that is the blend. I think what we're talking.
We
So
have a we have a question where I think Donald is asking, which is your which blend is your favorite?
mine. So far, I like, well, I had a coffee. Yeah, that is what I was talking like Brazil. Um, I got Brazil and Ethiopian. That natural were
Yeah.
50-50 was my favorite actually. I really like it. And again, it's a depend on how you roast it as well.
Uh-huh.
What profile you roasting. So like
Yeah.
coffee, you roasting medium roast or light roast, light to medium or medium to dark or medium to light or something. You got this kind of thing. So I don't sometimes some places I've seen like city roast and what is it roast something medium
Yeah,
roast, light
city, full
roast, city
city,
roast, full
full
city.
city
So
roast.
I don't
Yeah.
I'm not we don't I don't know how you because everybody has a different way. I'm not criticizing. So how we see here is we see light roast,
It's light, medium, and then
light to
dark.
medium, light roast,
Yeah.
light to medium, or medium roast, medium to light. You got it's like it's something that's
Uh-huh.
how we look at. So I don't know how to look at the city roast and full cities and things. But yeah, so I'm very new. I might need to learn more. So
Okay, now we have another question from Bhopal. That how do you determine a blend or roast profile for the latte art?
there's no such a thing. The coffee blend for latte art. I think that you can make any coffee. You just need an espresso, I think, to make a latte art. But what makes it different for latte art is especially like single origin. If you use a very light, super light roast for single origin, super light roast, then it can make a big difference. Okay. And so, otherwise, I think in general, for latte art, roast is, I don't think so. There is a, so what we need to understand, latte art is just a presentation, okay?
Yeah.
It's a cake and the icing. There is a cake,
Yeah.
and icing is the latte art.
Yeah.
So the cake, when you eat the cake, so it's not icing, okay? It's about the cake. So icing makes you even like better. So
Yeah.
that's how I see latte art. Okay, as a latte art, I'm not saying latte art is this and that, but I love doing latte art. My entire life is, I spend whole my life making latte art. I love it, and I even have a book and all that thing. I'm proud that I'm a latte artist. Yeah, but we need to understand the barista is latte art is. actually is the icing on the cake. So cake is the whole coffee. It's like you have espressos and all that. And espresso is the cake, and latte art is the icing.
Yeah.
So, but a latte art makes your coffee better, 100%. How? But to make a good latte art, you need to have a good texture of milk. You need to have a right temperature. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
need to have a nice crema on top. So that makes it taste better, 100%, no doubt. But so there is no such a latte art blend to me. And any coffee you can make a latte art. So you don't need to even um, uh, espresso. Actually, you can make a chocolate sauce and you can make a latte art there. No
Yeah.
problem. So yeah, so I think it's normally when you make a latte art, it's a more attractive is a dark roast. When you
Yeah.
make a coffee, dark roast coffee, espresso, like you have espresso from dark roast coffee, and when you pour latte art, it will look amazing actually, of course. But I wouldn't recommend it roast for latte art for sure.
We have another question there from Donald, who decides which green beans do you roast.
Sorry, which?
Donald, he mentioned, he have asked, who decides which green beans you roast. Your
um
roast. Right?
Green beans. Which green beans? I mean, I got loads
Mhm.
of green beans there.
Like who decided what kind of roasting profile
Oh,
you need to do it?
oh God. Okay. So the main thing is it's mainly like head of coffee. So my Donald teachers, he got all of them ideas, and so obviously I do get involved as well. So so when I get involved, so I just try. Okay, that is good. That is not. I just give them my opinion. Actually, I won't decide what to do. I have to trust. We got to trust people and each other actually. So yeah, we normally get like, let's say like I got a 10 different samples, right? And we got 10 different samples from supplier, and we roast them and then taste. And but they always there is always on the notes that, like, the detail is the taste profile, and the green bean supplier, they recommendation. So you should roast in this way. The roasting profile and the flavor notes, like all that things, they notes, like this, they always
Yeah.
give us. Okay, so we just need to find the right tune from the green beans. So
Yeah.
from the out of 10 green beans, when we cup, so it's called cupping, it's the tasting. So when
Yeah.
we cup, so you might find like a two good or one good or sometimes none. So, and get
How
another
much do
one. So
you
this,
involve yourself in cupping that?
I do a lot, yeah. Maybe like at least 3, 4 times a week. I do get involved. Yeah, I like cupping. So I like to try different coffees. And I get more excited to cup more than while drinking flat whites and things. So yeah, so I like it. It's good.
Wow, that's awesome. Now that when I think I'm gonna take one of these questions, and then I'm gonna ask you another questions. One of the viewer he asked, how are you managing your outlet during the pandemic period? I think you already answered
It's very
on the initial
difficult.
time.
Yeah, it's very difficult. So we got in the UK, we got actually in a government doing a really good job. So all of them staff get 80% pay. It's called
Wow.
furlough the staff. So they get 80% their pay. And so as a business, the government is providing some grants and some other like tax reliefs and like all that things. So still very difficult. There is some rents and all that involved. So, there's a lot of waste and rent and all that involved. But yeah, so I think it's what we need to do is be positive. Always. We don't know when it's going to end, but we just need to make a plan. We got loads of time, and we just need to make a plan and stay positive, be positive, and stay safe. And then
Yeah.
most important thing is this is a good chance to be with the family. I tell you what,
Yeah.
I never ever had in my life this much free time. So I think it's quite luxurious actually. I'm having luxurious time actually, to be honest with you. So yeah.
That's awesome. Now I want to talk about, like, you already spoke about the book. You already mentioned about the book. Could you please talk about the coffee art? Because you have, I believe it's almost a few couple of years now. You published the book. What
Yeah.
motivated you?
So this
Yeah,
book I
coffee
published
art.
in 2017.
17.
Um, so I always have a dream, like to share my knowledge to others, and I always have this. That was one of my biggest dream. This come from in 2012. I went to one of the coffee school in London to learn, and it cost me like 75 pounds an hour. Okay,
Wow.
and yeah, it's not cheap. Okay, so and I thought as a barista, it was really difficult to afford, not affordable, honestly. But I had to do it. That was my passion. That was what I love. And since that, I never had any lesson from anywhere. Okay, that was a 3 hours lesson. That's all in my life. I had a lesson. So, and then I thought, one day I'm gonna win the competition, or maybe I'm gonna, I want to teach people for free or something, for reasonable price, and I want to share my knowledge, and that was my always in my mind. And so I get involved lots of like coffee school, or like, as an independent, like, as a barista trainer. I used to do a lot. And suddenly one day, like, I thought, I could write the book.
Yeah.
Why not? So coffee art book, like a latte art book, I should do it. And that time there was no such a like a latte art, especially for latte art. There's no book in a coffee world. So I thought I'm gonna do it. So I had a really good chance to do it, and it took me around 3, 4 months, 5 months, I think, to put together. And there is a lot of different techniques. You have 60 different
Yeah.
techniques. Sorry, 60 different designs, something
Designs.
7, 8 different techniques, and loads of things. I tried to put everything in a quite simple way. And so we have, yes, and September 2017 we published, and now we have probably we sold more than 50, 60,000 copies, yeah. And
Yeah.
I have six different languages now,
Yes.
6 different languages, which I'm really proud. You have like English, Germany, French, Dutch, Chinese, and Hungarian. You have
Wow.
yeah, you can buy loads of, yeah, you can buy Amazons and all of them book
Yeah, the
online stores.
googlebooks.com, they have it as well, I believe that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things, and so I'm really proud. And then yeah, hopefully another edition two is coming soon too. I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
planning. So
You have a lot of patterns where you have mentioned the basic part to intermediate to Dhan Tamangs
yeah,
to the other stuff as
absolutely.
well, which
Yeah,
is pretty much interesting.
yeah.
So, like, we saw that I want to talk about the dice as well, because that's an interesting topic I'm really looking forward to, because it's totally different and unique. The other one I want to talk, is there any specific pattern that you have on that book, da? Your favorite?
Specific specific pattern. All of them are specific. I think it's just the nature of pattern. So what we need to do, in a latte art, how I see is um, it's not. You don't want to jump into straight away like swans and all that thing. So you just need to. There is a few things I will explain. I'm going to explain you. In a latte art, I see. Um, three basic pattern. We need to understand the basic pattern, okay? Three different basic pattern, which is heart, tulip, and rosetta. So these three pattern makes pretty much almost like 80, 90% of the design, free-port design, you're able to make. Like whatever you see online, there is some different technique these days, of course. But I'm saying like around almost like 80% of the design pattern you can create based on these three patterns.
Yeah.
Let's say, like, look at this one. So Rosetta, you have Rosetta and
Rosette.
tulip, and you just
Yeah.
draw. Okay, so to me, the most important thing is three basic patterns. But you need to replicate with they need to be size, various like size or angles, different angles. You got to be able to pour these three different patterns. So I think it's a basic pattern. Always, always. If you are into coffee latte art, you need to understand like how can you break down the pattern, or what is the basic pattern. So how can you pour like basic pattern? The basic pattern is the important key elements, rather than you practice hours.
What's up?
Wow.
Sorry, that
That's okay.
Instagram allows just for like an hour, and it just shut it
Wow.
down, live station. So we had to go back again and then restart the
Yeah, I
live
see that.
station.
Yeah, saw that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about the latte art? I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, no. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, so that is please, let's focus. First thing is focus on the basic pattern, and then you can develop with the basic. Yeah, so once when you understand the like completely, the basic pattern, then you can develop like slowly, step by step. I think that's the
That's one of the key.
yes.
Yeah. What made you to build up the dice
Sorry.
that you have? The dice,
Oh
the
yes,
cubes.
latte art dice is
Yeah.
one of the, yeah, it's a friend of mine who invented latte art dice,
Uh-huh.
the basic latte art dice, and he's based in London. So and he asked me one day like, oh Dan, should we do something different? I said like, yeah, fine. So we did. Actually, we have. So we create together like another the basic, intermediate, advanced, and then Dhan Tamang dice.
Yeah.
So we create that, yeah. So it was quite nice. Yeah, it's a good. It was a good little project there. So I really enjoy actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Bhupal, could you please repeat your question, brother? I'm so sorry we got stuck and I could not reach your question. And one of the guy asked that what's your plan for the upcoming project for Nepal or in Nepal maybe, I think.
Um, to be honest with you, completely brutally honest with you, I don't really know. I would love to. It's my dream to do something in Nepal. It's my dream. Honestly, I would love to do. I would love to get involved with something. But same time, I can't. I won't able to give a 100 my 100%. For that project for sure. Um, I've been thinking a lot, and it's. I think it's one day, maybe one day, if I find the right, perfect, right blend of people,
Yeah.
so I might do something. But I would love to get involved something with like DT coffee. Especially DT coffee. That's where I wanted to do something in Nepal.
Also one
Uh,
thing that I'm sorry that also one thing that I've heard you saying that the most important thing for me right now, your dream that you have been talking about is the education system through coffee. You
yeah,
wanted to help the people through
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's, you didn't want to mention that most probably right now, but I want to talk about it, so I just had to mention it because you've been mentioning it that you want to help on the education system in Nepal to the
Yeah.
people who are not, through coffee. So it's pretty much awesome as well.
Yeah, so definitely, this school, the this coffee education, like this is the this is something I love doing. So like talk about the coffee and teaching, latte art, or teaching any like a barista training. This is something I always enjoy. Okay, and so like let's say last few years, like last 3 4 years, been absolutely super busy myself. So I've been traveling around the world, and just last year, 2019, I traveled around more than 20 different countries. So,
Wow.
so just in 1 year, and it was actually it looks good from the social medias and all that thing, but it was almost
That's tiring.
actually I was dying. There was a point I was like, oh my God, I hate airports. That's the kind of thing. So and but at the same time, I loved it. I'm really proud that I'm a barista, and I travel around the world to teach, share my knowledge, and share my skill. And I loved it. And so yeah, especially last year it's been really busy actually.
Somebody's
Yeah.
asking that uh your book on, I believe, I want your book in Saudi Arabia. Is that possible? Any specific place in Saudi Arabia?
Actually, I have a plan to visit in Saudi Arabia. So once this everything is done, so I am actually going there
Mm-hmm.
in Riyadh. So
Wow.
I'm going. I actually have the visa already. So, we have to get the visa. So already have the visa. So I'm actually going there. So I have a good few friends, and I supply coffee in Saudi Arabia too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there any best place where they can get it, the coffee from in Saudi Arabia?
Well,
Would you like to mention the name?
I I know the best place to get the coffee. I think Saudi Arabia. There is a lots of good place. To be honest
Hmm.
with you, Saudi Arabia, Dubai. There's like
No, it's like
Qatar.
your brand.
My brand. Where? This coffee shops. This coffee shop is. I need to find it. Like I know his name because we made a like a white label brand for him.
Mhm.
So not the like DT coffee. I don't think so. You will find the DT coffee there. You will find the white label. So what what I find the people there and the customer, they like white label, not the brand.
Wow.
You see, their own brand. They like. I don't know. I don't understand why how, but to me, is as a wholesale and as a roaster, you just want to sell coffees and people. The customer is always right to me. So and they want their own brand. So like okay, great. So we just uh, did the blend for them. So I don't know exact address, but I can find out and send you a specific. If you send me a quick message.
Good. Awesome. Sure. We have another question from Bhupal. I could not read that before. He mentioned that while making latte art, most of the time, when we are finishing the pattern like horse, face, rabbit, etc., with dry foam, it starts to smudge a lot. So, that can you help us with that? Any tips with that one? To
Um,
not letting the, yeah,
I can see
yes,
that there is the question here too. So
yeah,
it's sometime, sometime is smudge a lot. Yeah, so sometime is depend on coffee also, what coffee you're using, the espresso, the depend on the espresso. Sometime is depend on the milk also. So for example, every place and everywhere, like there is a, for example, if you go to supermarket, there is a three, four different types of milk, yeah. So they
mm-hmm,
all, when you pour latte art, they're all different actually. You get different
yeah,
reaction from the all of the milk. So
yeah,
sometimes it could be one of those regions. It could be coffee or it could be your the milk. So if you use really fresh coffee, it could you could get that kind of problem.
mm-hmm,
Or if you use a really like old coffee, like 6 months or something old, you could get that problem. Yeah, no surprise, people that do that, and or it's completely maybe it's the milk also. It could be really like based on what milk you're using. So I would suggest try to change something, different milk or different the coffee. Try to use and then do exactly the same way. So I really hope this will, yeah, you will solve your problem. So yeah,
mm-hmm. Does the espresso, because I've seen it, you have mentioned it many times that the taste of the espresso also matters.
yeah,
So,
yes.
like, would you like to talk about that? Because there are a lot of myth that, talking about the, light roasted coffee, dark roasted coffee, and a lot of things. What do you prefer actually, and what do you look after when you make, let's say, a flat white, especially,
Um,
let's say,
yeah. So
yeah,
especially for me, when you make a when you taste the espresso, I looked at like a balance. I want, is it a really balanced espresso? Some espresso, like for example, if you do like really super light coffee, like let's say Ethiopian natural coffee, super light, you made espresso with a, I don't know, something like the ratio is uh, quite strange, maybe like 1 to 1. People like, I've seen 1 to 1 ratio or something. That would be really acidic, really like, that would be crazy. So to me, that is not acceptable. So, what how I look at is a very, the espresso has to be balanced, good, you enjoy to drink. So the one thing I'll tell you to everyone, why we drink coffee.
Yeah.
So we drink coffee. It's like it's coffee. It's because of we enjoy. That's all. It's not something you got to drink and you have to drink it and things. Not like that. So it's a coffee. It's a personal preference. Okay. So I don't have a specific. I'm not gonna tell people, oh, I like this coffee. I like that coffee. I like Ethiopian. Or I like the Brazil. I don't get. I don't want to criticize. I don't want to say anything because it's their personal choice, personal preference. And I drink coffee. I go to coffee shop because of I really enjoy the atmosphere because of not just the coffee. It doesn't matter to
Yeah.
me. Just the coffee. It's I can get anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So it's about the atmosphere. It's about the experience, how you feel it. Have you ever felt that like something like sometimes when you go to coffee shop, some of the coffee shop, you feel really strange and you feel uncomfortable. Oh my God, do I want to
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
this
I
sofa
understand.
or do I want to
Yeah.
this sit this like table? Oh shit,
Yeah.
that table is like massive. Or sofa is too clean. Oh
Yeah.
God, do I want to? Do you feel that? Like some of the
Yeah.
place, I do feel that. I got this kind of experience. And even though the coffee is super nice, the amazing barista making, I don't really care. I don't want to go there. Do you see what I mean? So
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
go somewhere like feel comfortable. I want to feel like guys are talking. Hey guys, how's things? They like the
What's
coffees and
up?
they
Yeah.
talk about the day and how's day going. All that. That is the experience. That's why I go there.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the coffee. That is why I'm telling you this is it's a coffee. It's a personal preference. Coffee is not just the coffee. It's about the I drink coffee is because of I enjoy and I like the I go to cafe because of I like the atmosphere and I really enjoy it. This is why I do that. So and this is why the espresso also like when you drink I don't know when you find the when you look at espresso when you make espresso you always find the like what do you like? Is it really
Yeah.
balanced? Or some of them espresso is just like the acidity is like going absolutely high, and then there is like there's not the body is really like somewhere
Yeah.
there. It just you don't really want it that, You just need to find the balance. Is it really right balance? Fantastic. Okay, so if you just pour some milk, let's say flat white. So when you drink flat white, is it really like are you enjoying? Sometimes
Yeah.
people don't even like coffee and they still drink it. Okay, so they just want to show.
Because of the ambience. I totally agree with that as well. And I believe this will definitely help to the people who are into, as an entrepreneur working in a, or let's say as a working as a barista or as an entrepreneur, because most of the people, they do not agree to these terms that ambience also matters. And the people
Absolutely.
over there, that's one of the best thing that you have just explained.
Yeah.
Also,
So
also, I would
yeah.
like to, yes, Tahazur.
Go on. Yeah. Fine.
I wanted to ask about because you have recently visited Nepali coffee, Nepal as well. You know about a little bit about the Nepali coffee industry now. Uh, do you want to talk about like the coffee market and the UK coffee market? Could you explain it? Like how
Yeah.
far?
I think it's a very I still find in Nepal the coffee shop in Nepal is a people still see that as a luxurious thing. I kind of like that kind of like impression I have. So in a majority people in apart from barista and coffee people still see the coffee shop is coffee and drinking coffee and going coffee shop is a quite luxurious thing. I
Yeah.
think that is the biggest part. I think in the UK, that is just a normal. You just need to go. You just got to go in the morning. You just go in the morning, drink coffee, and see you later. But in Nepal, it's a kind of like it's quite people see it as a luxury thing. And so, but what I find is there are lots of passionate the baristas, and people work as a one team. Like the people work as a like the teamwork. When you say like for example, if you do some a little bit little one of the like little events and everybody get involved there, so which
Uh-huh.
is I love the most. And they everybody just work each other, everybody try to help each other, and that's what I like. And I've seen lots of the baristas who is all of them like all of them barista, they always wanted to willing to learn something
Yeah.
different, and that's
Yeah.
what I like the most. And that is the right attitude to have, and and coffee shop, I think it's pretty much similar. UK, Nepal. In Nepal, every coffee shop they just focus on a coffee rather than food and things. The food is
Uh-huh.
just like completely on the side. So
Yeah.
in a UK, a slightly different way. So
Yeah.
so you got like let's say food revenue and coffee revenue in a cafe. Food revenue is like quite higher. Coffee revenue is something like coffee revenue following the food revenue. So but in Nepal is coffee revenue is probably the higher
Uh,
one. And so I see that. Yeah. So apart from that, it's I'm really happy to be there in Nepal and meet all of them. Fantastic baristas, and I always enjoy their company. I always spend my whole time in Nepal with a barista with a coffee in a coffee shop.
yeah.
Than my with my family actually.
I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
And we have another question is like, where can we get your books in Nepal?
Uh, Great question. So I don't really know. So we don't have
I
a.
know that because I still know that Kathmandu Coffee has got still some of
If they
the
have some, yeah, Kathmandu Coffee
um,
have. If they have some, then you can get from Kathmandu Coffee, Lazim part,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And if not, then we don't have yet. So I would love to get some books in Nepal soon, but I don't know how we want to do. Maybe we could do something, but I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all right, then. So I won't be taking too much of your time now. I just want to get into latte art and dig into latte art because there might be a lot of people who are looking forward for the latte art tips and a lot of stuff. We have been talking about most of the time that the pitcher and the cup size that really matters because when during our session, as well, and how do you define this thing? How do you is there any specific reason for that or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that when you pour coffee, latte art, I think it's the cup size, the shape of the cup, and the pitcher is the most important thing. I think these two is very cup and pitcher. The combination is a very important, most important thing. So like size, for example, if you're pouring latte art in a 300 ml cup, then you got to use 600 ml cup, the pitcher,
Yeah,
or more than 450 ml pitcher, not 350 ml. So it doesn't really work. It can work, but you don't get the best out of it. Okay. So in my opinion, that's how I think. So everybody got a different way. Okay, obviously. So I'm not saying I'm the right, I'm the 100% right one. So everybody got a different way, and so I think it's to me, if you pouring coffee in a 200 ml cup, then you must use 350 ml pitcher. So if you use a
yeah,
liter or 600, then probably you don't get the best out of it. So that's how I
yeah.
feel, by the way. So just to confirm, because sometimes often people don't get disagree with that. So that's how I see. And but but everybody is different. People are different.
Yeah, yeah,
People are different.
totally
So
agree.
and we all do different way and things. So you just need to find the right tune, for yourself, and then you can actually do it. So like for example, the pitcher, there is so many pitcher like you can buy up to £100 or 50, £80, £70 worth of
Yeah.
picture per one picture. Okay, so that is sounds silly to me, almost silly. That's crazy. That's a lot of money. And but I use all of them picture is like probably £5 or under £5 worth. It's
I've
just a
seen that
cheaper.
yesterday. I've seen it yesterday. How you
Yeah,
make your own picture, the spout and
yeah,
everything. That was
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so it's just make it simple. I always believe there is a way of making simplicity. You just make it simple, everything.
Yeah.
There is always way to make it easy. So that's how I uh, do. This is what I think actually. So make it simple and find your right tune, and rather than you follow the others. If you try to follow others, you're
Yeah.
not the best. You're not the best. Somebody's already the best. So you're just following, but it's just a copy paste, okay? So find your own tune, and then you'll be there. You're there. Yeah. So I think it's the way.
Yeah, that's one of the best thing that we can hear from you. Also, that one more question I want to ask. The culture that we have, like I believe over there in the overseas country, most of the people are into takeaway cups or paper cups, and the ceramic cup. Would you like to talk about the flavors, actually, the taste profile that, if you use takeaway cups and the ceramic cups, would that change?
Um.
You're into a lot of milk beverages and you talk about a lot of profiles on milk beverages.
Yes. One thing is to me is instead of flavor, it doesn't change a lot of flavors. But what change when you drink, let's say ceramic, let's say this ceramic cup and let's say takeaway cup. So when you put a
Yeah,
lid in a takeaway cup, for example, when you do drink in a ceramic cup, like in a normal cup, you got the like the foam, and then like the top bits, the foam,
yeah,
and then the milk coffee, it combined together, especially milk beverage, okay?
yeah,
And when you drink in a takeaway cup with a lid, so what happened? It's just a lid. There's a little hole. So when you drink
yeah,
it, you don't really get that texture, the milk texture. You just get the milk, okay? You didn't really get the foam. You just get
yeah.
the milk. So to me, that is the biggest difference. So
Wow.
the texture, you don't get the texture when you drink in a takeaway cup. So when you drink in a ceramic cup, you actually get the texture. You know, it's
Yeah,
quite nice to me. And then you can have a like aroma as well. So when you drink coffee in
yeah,
a ceramic cup, so that's how I see. And then of course, plus like if you drink in a shop, so I think it's a less waste as well. So takeaway cup is always the waste. After you drink
yeah.
coffee. So it's just
That's
yeah.
cool. All right, so just waiting. If somebody has any question for Dandai regarding latte art or anything else, please do let us know, because we are almost to the end of the sessions. I thought it would just take 1 hour, but I'm sorry that it just took more than an
It's
hour.
okay. It's okay. That's all right. It's all right. It's all right. All good.
Would you like to tell? Would you like to give some information or anything to Nepali
Um,
Beverages, anyone else?
well, I mean, every single time when I go to Nepal, when I met you guys, especially in the Kathmandu or all of them Barista in Nepal, you guys are always amazing. And
Thank you
yeah,
so
stay
much.
as usual. Don't change it. Be amazing, be awesome, and as usual. So that's all. I think it's um, yeah, I think it's that is the most important thing, man. Like you stay happy, and that's all. That is the key thing. And just this competition, winnings, all that, it's just a part of the job, part of the life. You will get that, okay? So it's not something crazy things like it's not something like big thing. It's just a part of the life and part of your job. And but most important thing is to stay happy, mm, stay humble, be who you are. That's all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's who actually you are, though. Like the way you are, you show the people you are very humble, kind, giving a lot of informations and showing what you are actually. That's awesome. That's the beauty of you, I believe.
Thank you.
We have another question that when you come into KSA, maybe Saudi Arabia?
The plan was last month, but not sure. Yeah, plan was last month. I was supposed to be in Saudi Arabia. So one, I mean, once this Corona thing's gone,
Yeah.
so I will be there for sure. It's from Naveen, right?
Yeah,
Naveen
Naveen.
Festa. So yeah, so we'll be there, but not sure yet. Okay, so we'll keep you updated.
Cool. So while ending up the sessions, I would like also, talk about the school that you have, the coffee school, because most of the
Yeah.
people, they don't have the idea about the coffee school or how's it going on, or anyone who's living
It's a
in
DT
UK.
coffee school. We are based in Winchester, so it's
Yeah.
just outside of London. Yeah, so just outside of London, based in Winchester. Um, so we do lots of like SCA courses, and actually we just start the roasting courses as well. So yeah, so I think it's my aim is again. So I'm trying to share our knowledge as much as we can. So yeah, that's kind of thing. So if you're around UK, so please let us know. So we are just like just outside of London.
Yeah.
So from London, it's just 1 hour from train, 1 hour like driving. You can drive from London just an hour.
Oh, cool. Are you planning to go out of the London? UK, I must say. Okay. Are you planning to open this school out of the UK to other countries?
Uh, I don't want to say yes or no. I would like to say
No
yes.
problem then.
I would like to say yes, for sure, 100%. But same time, we need to, um, yeah. So, but I cannot do with just myself. I need to have a right. Um, as I said earlier, I need to have the right people. I need to meet. I need to have. We. There is a lot of plans. We'd love to do that as well. We'll be doing for sure. Yeah, 100% we'll be doing, but I don't know where or when or where.
Are you going for cycling?
Um, Actually, it's later on. No, just outside. Later on. It's just a quick run. I'll be going.
All right. I'm just gonna
So
read out
later
the
on,
last.
just
We'll have it for you, and then I'm just
yeah.
gonna wrap this
This is
up
this
if
is
possible.
this is how we say. This is
Wow.
where I leave. Yeah, it's sunny day actually. Quite sunny day. I like it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any, uh, idea on the, I have question from one of the viewer. He's mentioned that is there any what should be the milk temperature while making the latte art, and the other question from
The
while
milk temperature is around 60 to 70 degrees around.
okay, good. And also I have another question from Nipin. How hard is it to get a specialty barista job in Luton or Central London who have the knowledge about specialty coffee and is on a student visa right now? I know someone who just went there, so.
Oh, it's easy. Super easy. Just ask them. Yeah, ask him or her to send me a quick message, and then so I will just introduce someone there. Yeah, it's easy.
Wow, you just made it so easy.
Yeah, it's not difficult. I think it's to me it's quite easy. So it's okay.
Thank you. That was awesome. That's
Yeah.
that's so nice. It's like he must be super happy right now, you know?
Yes, I'm always happy. I think
Wow, wow, that looks great.
yeah. So it's a kind of this is a beautiful sunny day. I love it.
Sunday Sunday Nepal जस्तो देख्ने रहेछ
Sunsan, एकदम
है
सुनसान हुन्छ यहाँ हेर्नेमा. So I'll be driving through now. So I'm going
sure, no
to
problem.
yeah, I'm going to Rosary and then see. because of even the close, everything is closed, so I still need to do a few here and there jobs.
Yeah.
You know.
Cool. Thank you so much, Datu. Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time. I really appreciate it. It was really great talking to you, Da.
No problem, brother. Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. It's been really, really like I really enjoy, and especially you are one of the person in Nepal. You taking a different level of this coffee scene, and it's a
You just
great.
make
Please keep doing your hard work.
Thank you so much, Da.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
All right.
Datu.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Wish
very
you all
much
the
for
best.
everyone.
Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye, Datu.